Hello and welcome back to another one of our guides here for FS25. In this one we are going to be taking a look at the horses. So first up we're going to take a look at the breeds. We've got 8 in total. Starting from the top we've got Grey, Pinto, Palomino, Chestnut, Bay, Black, Seal Brown and Dun. You can only purchase them at 0 months old, so as newborn foals. So there's no way to advance the age so you can get any closer to the reproduction cycle. So you have to start off from 0 months. They are $500 each, and the transport is $300 per horse as well. So that's going to mount up very quickly. So the reproduction for these guys, you've got 22 months until they can start to reproduce, and then a further 11 months until you get the first foal from them. In our tests, that has worked out right. The first foal arrived at 33 months, so that figures do look correct. As for the transport options, we only have one available for the horses, as we had 2 for the other ones here. These only take cows, pigs, and sheep or goats. You have to go with this one, and it only takes 2 horses at a time. It's the Kingston Belvedere, and it's $22,000. But when you're transporting horses at $300 a go, it's going to mount up very quickly, and it's probably beneficial to buy this, especially with the profit you're going to get from them. This really isn't much of a cost at all. But let's take a look at the housing of the horses. We have some set up over here. We've got this big one here, which we can come back to later on, and I will show you why the fencing is not required. You can expand these pastures, but you shouldn't. So let's take a look at the housing of the barns. So taking a look at the different pastures, we could probably jump up into the sky quickly just to have a little look at this. So this first one here is $55,000. It holds 11 horses, but as with the other animals, because this isn't a building, as you can see here, it will require water as well as the feed. All of the other ones here, these buildings do not require water, as it is assumed utilities are supplied to them, being a building. So this is $55,000, holds 11 horses. This next one here is another pasture. It holds 9 horses and is $25,000. So a little bit cheaper if you're wanting to start off with just a couple of horses, only $25,000. Next up is the horse barn, and it holds 13 horses, and this one is $110,000, so quite a big jump compared to that first 2 there. This next one holds 16 horses and is $118,500. A little bit better looking there, just like the cow barn. I think it's Horman that does it. Yes. Again, you can customize the pastures for all of these, but I will show you in a minute why it is not worthwhile, because as you know, the fences cost money and it is not cheap. Finally, we've got the large barn, which is $125,000, and it holds 16 horses, so identical to this one here with 16 horses. But let's have a quick look at why it's not worth putting in pastures. I did mention we were going to come back to this one, but this isn't the one we did. We have this one here, which if we jump up just a little bit, you can see we've got the fence all the way down to here, and it goes all the way up round, all the way along here. This took a minute to load in as well. This is an absolutely massive pasture. So if we just take a quick look up here, all of this is the pasture we have made right down to the end here. And the reason it's not worth doing, if we jump back here, so 16 horses is the maximum with the other barns without making a pasture. And this, I didn't actually check the cost of this, but it would probably be somewhere in the region of about $70,000 to $80,000 for that. And from that, we can put in 16 horses. So do not make a bigger pasture unless you want to waste money. So 16 horses is the maximum. We can do that here and show that we put 16 in there. And if we double click on this, nothing happens. So 16 is the maximum you can get. Again, they're spread out all through this pasture, as you can see here. A massive pasture compared to what you would get as standard, which is smaller than this one here. And again, 16 horses is the maximum. So my recommendation is do not build any pastures for horses because you do not gain anything from it. Now taking a look at the prices for the horses, I'll put the little thing up with the spreadsheet here just now. As we can see, the maximum price per horse is $5,000, and that was tested until 38 months old. And once it reached $5,000, there was no loss of value after that. Remember, all of these figures in the tutorials, the guides I'm making here, they've been made with a game mode in easy, so the best price for the horse may change. But let's take a look at the feed. So if we jump in here, this is one at 38 months. I can't remember which one we did it with. No, that's one we've just purchased. So I'm pretty sure it is one of these. I think it's that one there. So we did the daily riding every day and cleaned it to keep everything at 100% as much as possible, to give us the value as quick as possible so that we could bring you this information. So out of the feed, we've got base food 57% effective, hay is 38% effective, and root crops is 5% effective. Now, out of that, the feed is broken down into that category. So base feed is going to be oats, sorghum, or parsnips. Hay, as we all know, is just dried grass. And root crops can be either carrots or red beets for your 5% effectiveness. The test we did, we can get 400 litres per day per horse of feed. From 19 months onward, it's a solid 400 litres per day. Up to that, it slowly increases from about 25% more than the day before, from 0 months. It slowly decreases after that at about 2 to 3% per day up until that 400 litres a day at 19 months old. Now for produce, unfortunately they don't produce anything. As we can see here, food is all you've got here. The only difference is you have to clean them and ride them daily to keep the fitness up and to keep the bars at 100%. The best way to maximize the profits, because you've got nothing back from the horses apart from selling them once they reach maximum age, is to try and keep the cost low. Obviously we've got massive equipment cost. So for here, we're just going to press E beside it, and now we can ride it. So just keep pressing W, and you can go through the different stages, all the way from trotting, canter, gallop, and then obviously you can just steer. You can use your steering wheel or however you would steer a tractor, just as normal. And you can see on the bar there on the top left, we've got the riding slowly increasing up the percentage to get that to, you need to do this every day and get it to 100% every day. That's what we've done for the test. Then once we take it back, we clean it with a brush. We'll show you how to get that in just a second. In fact, we can do it just now. If we go in the normal menu here, right down to the bottom, in the animals category, you've got horse brush and it's $55. So now if we put this one back in its pen, we can see here now it is 42% ridden for the day. So we jump off and then select the brush by pressing 1 or 2 on the keyboard. I'm not sure what the console commands are. But once you get close enough, the circle in the middle of the screen there will change to a brush. And then you would left click, start brushing it. You can see on the bottom right there, we've got cleanliness on the very bottom. Slowly increasing in 5% increments. And just keep doing that until it's 100% complete. So there we go, that's the brushing done. And now if we jump back in here, it is this one here. So our daily riding, we've got 42%. If you can keep going up to 100%, and then obviously cleanliness is 100%. The fitness is 0 because this one hasn't been ridden at all, it's just been fed. To get a comparison with price if you didn't ride it or clean it every day. So this is the first time we've cleaned it and did the daily riding for this horse in 38 months. And as you can see, this one has been done every single day. At 38 months, as long as they've been fed, they've been cleaned every day to 100%, and the daily riding is 100% every day, they max out at $5,000. But if you don't do that with this test, this one hasn't reproduced anything at all. The bar has actually turned grey and the health is at 0%. Even the hay ran out yesterday, so we have kept up with 100%. but it's only valued at $1,500. So it is advisable, ride them every day to 100% and use that brush and clean them to 100% every day to get the maximum value from them. So taking a quick look at the equipment, we'll put the spreadsheet up just now. It is advisable, you'll see why in a minute, it's very advisable to have some of these equipment already. So the combine and header, $104,500 for the combine and $30,000 for the header. I think it's $1,500 for the header trailer as well. That is to combine up the feed like the oats or the sorghum. So you would need that for your base feed anyway. Or you can do a vegetable harvester for the parsnips. If you already do that, that's good, but I'd suggest keeping to a combine because most farms have one. So then you can do the oats or sorghum to feed the horses the base food. We've put the carrot harvester in there, but it's just one of the cheap ones, not a self-propelled one, and it's $39,500. That is for the carrots that goes into the root crops. You've also got red beets as well, so you could use a cheap red beet harvester for that. The mower and windrower tedder and baler is for your grass work to make the hay. Obviously you mow it as grass, so you'll ted it to make hay and then windrow it up, ready to be baled. So everything in total that you would need. Obviously the root crops, we've got the carrot harvester there for the root crops. So $301,000 in total. Now it's advisable to have, I would say, do the grass to get hay and use the combine to get oats for 95% effectiveness on the feed. So we'll just take a quick look at the spreadsheet now. So as we can see, the cost to feed one horse from 0 to 28 months. If you buy it from the store, let's just quickly take a look before we put the spreadsheet up on the screen here. So the bales, you can obviously buy your hay bales from the store. So that's your 38% effective dry grass for your hay. And then the base food, if we go into food for, in the animals category here, and then go into food, you've got obviously your chicken food, there's horse food, pig food, and then you've got it in bags as well. So oats is for horses. And they've got the bags as well. It's the same price for the same volume, so it doesn't matter. But we'll just click one of these and purchase that just to show you. And that will be here at the store. So that's your horse feed. If you don't have a combine, this is why it's essential to have this equipment already if you're going to be doing horses. A lot of the other animals actually make profit even if you were to buy the equipment brand new and buy it outright. The horses don't. So this is where it's a bit weird. You can't make the pastures bigger because you can't increase the capacity, and you need to kind of have the equipment already because if you don't and need to buy it, you don't profit at all. So as you can see here, it's $3,760.33 if you were to buy the food from the store, i.e. the hay bale and the oats for the base food. So that gives you 95% not feeding them root crops. If you do it yourself to get the extra root crops and you don't have the equipment and you're not buying it from the store, it's going to cost you $301,000. You could reduce that down to, I'm not sure the actual figure, we maybe should have done this, but if you were to use the oats and the hay bale from the store and then had the carrot harvester to give you that 5%, or a red beet harvester to give you the 5% effectiveness, that might work out. Although you'd have to consistently do horses start to finish, and it's maybe going to be a lot of work. So the profit per horse, if we were to buy one horse and feed it using the store feed, at 28 months, if we sold it, obviously it's not at full price yet at 28 months, but if we did, you would make $216.67 in profit. And self-made, if we did it ourselves, buying the $301,000 worth of equipment, selling that one horse would make you a loss of $297,023. So probably advisable using the store feed and taking the 5% drop. I don't think it would take $250 off the $5,000 value. Obviously you'd be left with $4,750. Assuming you took that 5% off for feed effectiveness, I think you would still get $5,000 because we've noticed that with the cattle in the past. You can miss out the mineral feed and the TMR and just do hay. You'll still get 100% effectiveness and they still reach full value. So I'm assuming it's the same with the horses. The breeds, if you sell them at 28 months, all the breeds are the same. You get $39,770 for 10 horses. And if you sold them at 36 months, they're obviously $5,000 value, so it's $50,000. But looking at the total profit, if you had 10 horses, 0 months to 28 months, feeding it on the store feed, it's $2,166.72 in profit. And if you kept them a little longer, sold them at 34 months at maximum value, you lose a little bit here because you've got to feed them that bit longer. So you're only going to get $1,018.80 in profit. So it's probably better to keep them to 28 months and then sell them. However, you don't get a foal because the foal happens at 33 months. So it may be worth keeping it to the 34 months you've got the foal, then sell the horse, take the $1,000 loss, but you don't have to purchase another one from the store or the animal dealer. So there's a bit of give and take there. This is why it's not advisable using the equipment if you're going to buy it outright. If you've already got it, then yes, by all means do it, miss out the root crops, take the 5% hit, but it's probably still going to give you the 100% effectiveness. If you did the same with a self-made feed, 0 to 28 months, with the self-made, it's $257,253 loss. And if you sold them at 34 months, you're going to make a $247,023 loss as well. So probably not advisable to make it yourself and buy the equipment outright. Ideally, if you've got a combine, yes, and you've got the mower and all the stuff for grass work to make the hay, then yes, it's very worthwhile doing, miss out the root crops. But if you're not into all that, and you don't have all that equipment and you don't want to go and spend the money, you're going to make a decent bit of money buying the hay and the feed, the oat feed, from the store. You're still going to get $2,166 profit per horse at 28 months old. Obviously you won't get the foal until 33 months. But that's up to you how you want to do it. But I hope that was very informative, and I hope you've learned quite a bit about the horses, how to feed them, and what profit they are going to bring the farm. Last up, just before we go, for the feed, if you've got it in a trailer, which I don't think there's anything in there just now, you just reverse into this point here, and when the icon comes up, press I to tip it in. Don't with the other ones as well. I think we spoke about this with the pigs especially. Do not put all the base feed in at once. If you're not doing root crops, it's fine, but I would recommend putting maybe 8,000 litres of base feed, 8,000 litres of hay, and leave it at that. Or if you're putting in root crops, put maybe 4,000 or 5,000 litres in, because it doesn't use much root crops if you are going that way. Do not fill the bar full, because then you won't get anything else in. But certainly 8,000 to 10,000 of base feed, and you could maybe put in 12,000 to 14,000 litres of hay if you're not doing root crops, because they go through hay slightly quicker than the base feed. Even though it's less effective, they will go through more hay. But that is just a quick kind of a recap on that. I think it was the pigs we had that with as well. If you fill it up with the base feed, you can't get anything else in, and then you're losing the 38% and the 5%. So just bear that in mind when you do go to feed them. Just make sure if you've got a 20,000 litre trailer, don't tip it all in with base feed, because you're not going to get any benefit from that. But that about sums up the horses. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it, and if you want to keep updated when a new video comes out, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment if you think I've missed something, or there's something you think would be different, or that should be changed, or isn't quite right. Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.